What's up guys, today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to make a VJ-based add-on. I'll show you how to set up the files and I'll also code a scripted NPC, a simple one. Okay, so first thing before you get started, make sure you read the rules which are located in this Wiki page in the GitHub. All links will be in the description, by the way. Just make sure you go over this, so yeah. And yeah, just come over here under making an add-on and download the skeleton file from here. The download link should be right here. Once you've done that, open up the zip file and go to your Gears mod folder and then add-ons, and then just drag the folder over to your add-on, and now rename the file to whatever your add-on is gonna be. So I'm just gonna name it YouTube tutorial. Next, open up the file, and actually before I go on, you will most likely have other folders here like materials, models, and sounds. But since we're not putting any custom models or sounds, for now we're just gonna have Lua. And once you go into Lua, go to autorun, and this will be your autorun file that puts the NPCs on the spawn list and does other couple stuff, which is very important. And just rename this part to whatever your add-on is. Like, let's say it was Black Mesa SNPCs, you would name it Black Mesa or something like that. In this case, I'll name it I'll just name it YouTube tutorial. There we go. My bad. And just copy this real quick. Open up the file and paste the file name in here. Now, go back to the beginning part where it says public add-on name. Over here, you just put the add-on name. It most likely, well, it should be like the same as it's gonna be named on the workshop. So, let's say it was the Black Mesa SNPCs again. I would name it Black Mesa SNPCs. But over here, it's gonna be different. You just name it Black Mesa. You shouldn't put SNPCs because this will only be the actual name, not the type it is or things like that. And then the type. This, let's say it's an SNPC pack, you would name it SNPC. If it's SNPC and weapon, you could do SNPC and weapons, things like that. And, alright, let me just change this to more appropriate names. YouTube tutorial. Tutorial. And in this case, I'm gonna remove the S because it's just gonna be one NPC anyway. Okay. Now, you would probably see a lot of code here. As this says, do not touch anything below this. There's no reason to. Your main focus is gonna be right here. So, let's start with the basic stuff. This will be your category that the NPC will go under. So, for example, we would name it YouTube. And now, when we make the actual scripted NPC, it will be under this category when you go to the spawn menu. Now, if you want, let's say you have two NPC in your packs and you want them in two different categories, you can just, where it says VCAT over here, you just, put whatever the category is. Alright, so there's multiple types of spawning controls. So Right now, the only ones we will worry about is this one, because these other ones are a bit different. I'll probably make a tutorial on each type of control and what they are and how to use them and things like that. But for now, we will just focus on a simple NPC control. So, let's name this YouTube, because we're gonna name the NPC YouTube. So let's just name it that, and then over here. Oh yeah, and you do need a prefix. Well, you don't need it, but it's like for keeping the files organized and making sure there's no conflictions with other add-ons. So I'll just name this UT as a prefix, and then the name of the NPC, which is YouTube again. And you're done. So just save. And this part, this is for particles. Again, I will make a tutorial on how these work, but for now you don't have to worry about them. Let's remove that. Same with this, I'll show it in another tutorial. And this one, leave it as it is for now, we will come back to it later. So save the file and go to the entities folder. And this is gonna be your NPCs folder where all of the files for the NPC will be in. So this has to be the same as what we named it here. So just copy it and paste it right here. Open this up. First, open up the shared file before you open up the initialize. Okay. Sec. It opened up in the other window. Okay, there we go. So, this will be the base type. All of the base types will be located right here in the Wiki page, with small description of what they are. In this tutorial, we will just use the creature base, which is like making basically all types of NPCs. But the other ones, like the human and animal, that's more specific, or even the tank. Those are more like specific NPCs. So let's leave that as it is. And then the print name, as we said, it's going to be called YouTube, the name of the NPC. And over here, the category. This doesn't really matter. I mean, I usually just put it the same as the spawn menu category, which I think we had as, YouTube with exclamation mark. Okay. Over here, the language name, just name it the same as a NPC's class name basically. And the name is gonna be YouTube. So basically the print name and the name over here are the same, and this is the class name. And then just save and close it. Next thing you gotta edit is the initialize. This will hold most of the important variables, functions that make the NPC basically. Alright, as you guys can tell, the video probably paused a little bit. That's because I opened up the game, so make sure you do the same thing. You have the game open, so you can see the changes and everything. Alright, so let's get started to coding the actual NPC. So first thing you need is obviously a model. I'm gonna go and use the killing floor model, killing floor cloth, which will be this one. And just apply it over here. And you can have multiple models, like it doesn't matter, because this is a table. And when you have multiple, basically when the NPC is spawned, the base will just pick one of the models that you put in here, and that will be the NPC's model. Okay, save this and make sure your NPC is in the spawn list. So, as you can see, we have YouTube in the spawn list. Same thing in the VJ base tab. It should be right here. And there you go, the NPC is in here. We spawn it. It should spawn with no errors. And it's working. Right now it's just using simple AI provided by VJ Base without anything custom. Alright. Yeah, so let's set up the basic stuff. First thing you should do is put a health. For now, just cross this out. I'll show you what that is later. Let's give the NPC 20 health. And then spawn it back up, make sure everything's working. As you can see, it died. Now, if you notice, it didn't really have blood when you shoot it. That's because we still haven't set up the blood type. So that's another main thing that you have to do in the beginning. So that is located right here. Oh, before I show you this, I got to this file by going to the GitHub page on VJBase and just go to Lua entities and then the base that you're using. In this case, we are using the creature base, and then go to initialize.lua and give it a moment while it loads, and there you go. All of the code is over here with all the base variables up here, and the function variables are down there, which I'll show you later. And if you want, you can just copy this and put it in a file to make it easier, like I did. Just put it in make it like a new file and just paste it over here. Okay. So, yeah, so go back, so go to the initialize file and find the blood color. It should be under blood and damages. Copy this and put it in the NPC's code. Now, you need to pick a type. So, for example, I'm gonna pick red. So you just type in red. All the types are right here, by the way. You should be able to see it. And save. Now it should have a blood type. So if you shoot it, you should see particles or the decals, and if the type supports it, there should be a blood pool. Like this. Okay. Go back, and next thing we gotta set up is the relationship of the NPC. So the relationship is under, well, relationships. So that's pretty simple, right? And yeah, select the NPC class right here and put it in the NPC scope. Let's save. Now we need to give it a class. So I could give it like something like one of the default ones, which are listed over here. So if you put class combine, it will be friendly to combine, and also other VJ NPCs that have the class combine in it. Same thing with the class zombie, antlion, and zen, and class player ally. Now you can make your own. Like I could do class YouTube. Now any NPC that has this same class name will be friends with this one. But in this case, I'll put it as zombie because, well, the cloud looks like a zombie. And let's save that. And now, if I if I turn on ignore players, spawn a clot and another VJ zombie that has the same class. You can see they are friends. Same with the Half-Life 2 zombies. you can see, they are all friendly. Now, if you're wondering, okay, what if I want this NPC to both be friends with zombies and maybe combine for whatever reason? You can do that. In fact, you can have as many classes as you would like. So, I'll show you how that works. So if we were to do combine, it will now be friends to both zombies and combine. So if we were to spawn a combine over here and spawn the spawn the YouTube, as you can see, they don't attack each other. Same with the zombie. Now the combine and zombie attack each other, but this one doesn't care. It's friendly to both of them. So it basically doesn't get involved. Alright. So let's just leave it to class zombie for now. Now, next important thing you need to do is set up the hitbox. For basic NPC that's like a human size, like the one we have right now, you could do like just a heal type, and it should be good enough. So if I were to leave it as heal human. Now there are other heal types. They are located in the Gears mod wiki, so you should be able to find them over there. Alright, save this and let's look at the hitbox of it real quick. There we go. That is its hitbox. Now let's say you have a big NPC, like let's see. Let's say the giant worm. See, this has a different hitbox. And yeah, so it's actually pretty easy to set up. Okay. Scroll down all the so go to the creature base initialize file and just scroll down. And the thing right after all the variables should be these custom on functions. The one we want is custom on initialize, so copy it. And now this is where you can set up the hitbox. I've actually put the example over here, so it should be pretty easy to find it. Alright. So all of these numbers define the size of the hitbox basically. So these 4 numbers, they need to be the same though. So let's say we want, let's put 200 for example, for this. All 4 of them should be the same. If you put it a different value and you use the tool, it might look fine, but then you actually collide with it and you realize it's not working as it should. That's because the collision system currently is a bit broken, which is nothing I can or anybody can do other than the Gears mod devs. So spawn the NPC and you should see its hitbox change. In this case, we made it really wide. Now if you're trying to make it tall, it would be this number right here. So if I put 500, this will make it really tall. As you can see. See, now this is its hitbox. Alright, so once you have the hitbox and everything set up, this is where well, actually, let me just remove this because we don't need that. Because the heal type works as intended. It's like the perfect size for it. Okay. So next thing you want to do, once you have the hitbox and blood type, relationship, and those basic stuff set up, next you can do the attacks, for example. The attacks will be located over here. Should be under, yeah, under that thing. So the melee attacks will be listed over here, range attack, and then leap attack. For now, we're gonna focus on melee attack as a simple example. I might make a tutorial on more advanced melee attacks and also range and leap attacks in another video. So first thing you want to do is make sure this is set to true, which is true by default in the base. Next, you need to get the melee damage. You need to set the value of it. Just copy that over, and just like the health, cross this out for now. I'll show you what that is later. And let's say, let's make it do a lot of damage. Let's make it do 80 damage. So if it hits me twice, I will die. Okay. Next thing you need is the animation, of course. Let's put that over here. I'll show you how to use all of these variables in a minute. These are for the animation, like if you want to decrease the length of the animation. Do you want it to face the enemy while it's attacking? And if you want to set a delay to the animation. We will leave these alone for now. We don't need them. Next, copy the melee attack distance and also the melee attack damage distance. These are very important variables. Just delete that. Okay. Now, if you're wondering what these angles are, it's basically the same as the sight angle, which is located right here. This basically, like, for example, in the melee attack damage, it would calculate. So if we had the NPC, and let me just use props as a indication. So let's say you set 60 degrees. The damage will go like this. So anything in here will be damaged, basically. And then if you were to increase the angle, this would get bigger, basically. And now anything in this range will get damaged. That's basically what it is. It's pretty useful for some unique attacks. Alright, so see. Oh yeah, and next thing you need is the time until melee damage. And next attack time. So copy those two. Actually no, take this one out. It's better to use, where is it? Yeah, this one. Next, any attack time melee. This way, if you have an NPC with melee, range, and leap, like multiple different attacks, this makes sure that it doesn't cut off the melee attack to do like a range attack. Okay. So once we have those in place, this is where the fun starts, basically. So first thing you want to do is, of course, get the animation. So spawn the NPC. I'm going to be using the easy animation tool to quickly look at the animations, and entity inspector to get the activity name, which is the enumerations with a CT and an underscore line and then a name. So go to the animation and then just pick whichever attack you want. Let's say I'm gonna pick Claw 1. So I have two ways of implementing this into my animation table. And this is the same as most animation tables in a base. So let's say the name wasn't act melee attack 1. Let's say it was act clot attack 1. And that activity name is not defined by default in Garry's mod. So if you put that, you will get an error, the game telling you that that activity name doesn't exist. So what you should do instead is copy the name, this name claw1, not the activity. And you just put it like this. Now what the base will do is it will take this and translate it into the activity name and force it to play basically. Now, if you don't want it to play as an activity and you want it to play as sequence, it's pretty easy to do. You get the sequence name, as we have over here, and you add this. Oops, there we go. VJSEQ, and then line, and then the naming. This will tell the base not to translate this into activity. Instead, play it as a sequence. Now, activity and sequences are very similar, but each one has its own advantages and things like that. You have to play around with it to understand what I mean. But in this case, I'm gonna leave it as just actually just as the activity name, since activity melee attack 1 is already defined in Garry's mod. So it's gonna know which animation I'm talking about. Now, melee attack distance and damage distance. These are very important. So the melee attack distance determines how close do I have to be to the NPC for it to attack me. So if I'm right here, should it attack me? I mean, obviously not. So you put the number lower, maybe over here. At this position, it should be pretty good. So let's set this to... Let me see how 60 looks on this NPC real quick. Oh, I forgot I have ignore players on. There we go. Alright, so it seems to be too far, so we might have to lower it. Let's try 45. So I'm gonna set myself as God mode for now, so it doesn't kill me. Just can't see the animation is glitching out. That's because we don't have the timers set up yet. I'll show you how to set them up in a minute. Damage. Let's try 35. Okay, 35 seems to be good. Now, next thing is the damage distance. This is how far the damage will go. Now, there's a big difference between this and this. It's not just about the damage, but also how they are calculated. The melee attack distance is calculated from its get pose, which usually is like around this area. Meanwhile, the damage distance is calculated from its hitbox. So let me show you what I mean. So it would be, if I was standing here, it would be right here. This is the starting point of the damage distance, and that's the starting point of the attack distance. So keep that in mind. They start at very different positions, especially if you have a big NPC. This will be very noticeable. So, most of the time, the damage distance should be larger than the attack distance. In this case, I'm going to try 60. And let's see how that looks. Enable AI. Let's try that again. Yep. It's As you can see, it couldn't hit me when I backed away, so it's working as it should. Okay, now that you have the distances set up, next thing is making the timers to set up to make the animation not break and things like that. So first thing you want to do is disable the AI and go to my Dr. Vrej tab. Under Tools, select Entity Scanner. Now make the NPC play the animation, the attack animation that you have applied. So in this case it was Claw 1. And use the Entity Scanner to get the information about the NPC. And it will print into your console. In the print, go under Sequence and then find Duration. This shows you exactly how long the animation is. In this case, it says 2, meaning 2 seconds. So go back to the code. Oops, I put the wrong one. There we go. And here, let me just remember which one it was. Yeah, put it under next any attack time melee. So this would be 2 seconds. No. Next thing we want to set up is time until melee attack damage. So let's make the NPC attack. Okay, it seems to be attacking too early, so let's try 1 second, for example. Now it's a bit too late. So let's try 0.9. Okay, 0.9 seems pretty good. Now, what you want to do is to take the next any attack time melee, minus it by this number. So yeah, it's pretty basic. And now most likely, unless I did this wrong, it should be 1.1. And then save it. Now the animation should not break if everything went correctly. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't break anymore. Although 0.9 doesn't seem too good. Let's try 0.8. Okay, that's a little bit better. No, as you can see, this attack animation seems to have two hits. In order to set up a second hit in the same attack, what you want to do is go back to the base, find melee attack extra timers. Copy this, put it over here, and now you can put as many hit timers as you want. So like you could have it do at 0.9 and then 1.5, as many as you want. But the earliest hit should be the time until melee attack damage. So you can't have this 0.8 and then put a 0.3 here. If that's what you needed, then you should put the 3 over here and the 8 over here. Okay, so let's set up the second attack. My guess is probably 1.3. Let's go back and check how that looks. Okay, it's attacking a bit too early. So let's try 6. Okay, I'm gonna give myself an admin health kit, which also comes with the base. It's very useful. I'm gonna turn off God mode. This way I can easily tell when it's hitting me, rather than trying to figure out if it hit me by looking at the screen shake. Okay, it seems to be attacking a little late, so let's try 1.5. Okay, 1.5 seems good. So, the second hit is now set up. Now, for the second hit or third hit or how much ever you're gonna put in here, you don't have to minus that number by this. Only the time until melee attack damage, which is the first hit in the attack. So now the melee attack is set up. Well, a very basic one at least. Now, next thing, you might be wondering, okay, how do I get sounds in? Like, let's say idle sound. Or actually a large sound, so it's easier to test. Let's go over here, put that over there. And just to keep it organized, I like to copy that as well, just to keep things organized. Yeah, so let's say the alert sound. Let's go find the sound for it. Sounds. Let's use the spider sounds. I know it's gonna be very mismatching, but you know, it's a good way to show you how the sound works. So we'll use this one as the alert sound. So this is how you put the sounds in. Like, let's say if you had 3 different sounds, you would just, oh, my bad. You just, oh my god. I keep messing up. You would just do this, basically. It's the same as like the animation table or the model. It's the same things. So now that we have a large sound, let's put in a melee attack sound. So when it hits, it makes a noise. Let's do strike. Let's use that. Alright, let's test these out so you can see how it works. As you can see, it played the alert sound when it saw me. And played the attack noise when it attacked me. Now if it missed me, it doesn't play it. Because for that one you gotta use a different table called melee attack miss. Alright. So this is how you make a basic scripted NPC. And before I wrap this video up, I wanted to show you this, as I said in the beginning, what these are. So these are convars. Convars are, as you probably know, you can change, you can use them in like the console. So let's say my alien swarm NPCs. These are the boomers convars. This way you can change like the health or something for a specific NPC if you want. You do not have to use convars for the health or the damage or anything actually, but I just do it for things like maybe servers. They might want to change the health or damage and things like that. So I'm going to show you how to set up a simple convar for the melee attack and the health. So to do this, you'll need the auto run, of course. I like to name things after the NPC. So in this case, it's after the NPC's class name. So in this case, I like to start with VJ to keep it organized and not make the servers or other people confused, so they know it's a VJ base related command. And then I like to put the prefix of the add-on and then the name of the NPC. Next, I like to put what the convar is about. For example, if it's about health, I put H, so that is its health. And in this case, let's put it to 50. And just copy this to make it easier. And for the damage, I like to put or if I had multiple different damage types, I just put other names. In this case, we'll put it to 80, so it 2-shot stings, overpowered. And then take this health convar, paste it over here to the start health. Same thing with the damage. And now you have convar set up. You will have to restart the map, so you could do like reload. And when it's done, it should all be set up properly. Alright, I'm back. The map is loaded. And let's test it out real quick. Let's spawn the YouTube PC. As you can see, my HUD is detecting it as 50. If you were to shoot it, as you can see, it's working. Now let's test the damage, which we put 80, so it should 2-shot me. And there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And I know people have been waiting for this tutorial for a long time because the one I made back in 2015 is very outdated. And yeah, I hope this tutorial helped. You're welcome to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you would like. I will make more tutorial videos regarding, VJBase. And yeah. And let me know if there's something specific you want, like a specific type of attack or something, tutorial about it, and I will try to make one. Peace out.